It must be acknowledged that in Europe, small and medium-sized enterprises play a major role, but because they face challenges and difficult times, they need to be supported, to be helped. While the objective of this industrial project is to help SMEs in Finland and by extension SMEs in Europe or any other SMEs at all in the whole world. Now, what is this whole industrial project about? Well, first, this is the table of contents, different topics that we will be talking about. And point one is going to be about the introduction and the background of this industrial project. And later, we will talk about the main project under which this industrial project is conducted. And that main and bigger project is called PISCO project. Now, it will be interesting to look at the context of the SMEs, which is the small and medium-sized enterprises in Finland and by extension in Europe. And after that, the point 4 or the part 4 is going to be about the methods used in this research. And apart from or after the method, we will talk about the technical design, because this is going to be an implementation of an IT-based product. And finally, we will draw conclusions and make some recommendations. Now, what is it about when we are talking about industrial projects? Well, as I was saying in the introduction part, the aim is to analyze the problems and challenges that SMEs that are involved in these particular projects are facing. And later on, I'll tell you exactly how many SMEs were involved in that project. And secondly, the idea is to map their needs, the challenges they are having. They needed to be translated into what is known as functional requirements. These are some requirements that they have. And upon knowing these requirements, we will need to translate them into design parameters. That is what we need to design for them in order to solve their problem. And thirdly, there will be a design of a prototype of a platform. And that design is going to be based on axiomatic design theory. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And the last objective of this project is to write a conference paper. And this conference paper is going to be presented in July in an international conference of applied human factors and ergonomics that will be in Washington, D.C. in USA. Now, as I was saying it earlier, this industrial project is part of a bigger project, that is PISCO project. Now, briefly talking about this PISCO project, it is a project that is being funded by EU, and the goal of this project is to raise impact capability in different type of SMEs, it is micro, small, and medium-sized companies. And the finance or the funding is coming from a European Social Fund, that is a developmental program. And one thing that is very interesting for this project is that it is being operated by 4 universities and in Finland, and among them some were University of Applied Sciences, but all of them come from 4 regions in Finland. Now, what will be the research objective, caution, and gap that will be discussed in these projects? Well, first of all, when we are talking about a gap in something that is missing or lacking, we could clearly see or acknowledge that there there are a lot of literature, or there has been a lot of discussion when it comes to collaboration. But then, what is a little bit missing, what is not widely discussed or researched, is about when collaboration involves small and medium-sized enterprises and a kind of tailor-made collaboration system for them. And that is a little bit missing when the literature have been analyzed. And then there are some collaboration platforms already, that is true, but most of them are not online. So later we will talk about some other types of collaboration platforms that are widely used today. So as I was saying it earlier, the objective is to analyze the wishes, the needs of the SMEs, and secondly, to use axiomatic design theory in order to design an electronic inter-firm collaboration platform, which role is to serve and to integrate different technology needed for this type of purposes. And these services or these technologies will be about, or will address issues pertaining to collaboration within an enterprise, and that is known as intra-firm collaboration. And secondly, collaboration with external partners or other firms apart from the company or the firm that is trying to collaborate, and that is known as external collaboration. Now, at the end of this research or project, we will be able to answer two questions. Now, the first one is, what are the needs that SMEs that were involved in Peace Group project, or all SMEs in, by extension, in Finland, what are the needs that they face when they are trying to collaborate? And of course, based on these researches, the results could be used by any other SMEs in the whole world anyway. Now, the second question is, how can an axiomatic design framework or theory be used in designing an inter-firm e-collaboration platform for these SMEs? So in these projects, we try to analyze and give an answer to these two questions. Now, when we come to the literature involved about SMEs and their collaboration, one thing that attracted our attention, and that is extremely important, is the role that SMEs play in Europe. They are the kind of backbone of EU economy. But then, when you're talking about SMEs, there are some factors that determine them or that define them. And two main factors. First one is the staff headcount, the number of employees in the company, and secondly, the turnover or the balance sheet total. Now, SMEs in general can be defined as a small and medium-sized enterprises, but there are three types of SMEs when you go a little bit deeper. First one is a medium-sized with the staff headcount less than 250, and the turnover also is seen there, less than 50 million euro, and the balance sheet total is less than 43 million euro. So based on the staff counts and the balance sheet and turnover, we can determine if the SMEs is medium-sized, small, or micro. So you can clearly see that for a micro SME, the staff headcount is less than 10. It can be one-man business, but still it is an SME. Now, when you analyze the context or the collaboration context of these SMEs, we could clearly identify some types of collaboration that exist when it comes to SMEs. And first of all, we would like to focus on a collaboration that is done when it comes to supply chain business. Now, there have been a lot of researches by Casal, a researcher who addressed this issue by identifying horizontal and vertical collaboration. As we can see in the picture there, the vertical collaboration and the horizontal involve external partners, such as suppliers, external collaboration or other organizations, and competitors, customers. So all these stakeholders are involved when it comes to horizontal and vertical collaboration. But an additional knowledge that we would like to have about this is that when you're talking about horizontal collaboration, it involves a company that are in the same field. They may be competitors, but yet they collaborate to address the same problem all of them are facing. But then when it comes to vertical collaboration, it involves companies that are not in the same field, but they work together to serve the same customer. It can be one company with its supplier, or the one he supplies materials or something. So these are two types of collaborations when it comes to supply chain. Now, another important thing that we want to pay attention to is when it comes to collaboration in the digital era. Everything is being digitalized nowadays because of the Industry 4.0 and the Enterprise 3.0. So there are some trends that drive e-collaboration or the collaboration using online platform. So in the picture, 3 trends are mentioned. These are the globalization and market liberalization. Second one is the informatization and knowledge intensity. And the third one is the pressure to constantly innovate. Now, apart from that these are the market trends. So you also have the organizational trends and also the technology trends. So these trends combine are a kind of things that move the market, the organization, and the technology towards e-collaboration. And additionally, there are some factors that also influence collaboration. And we analyze this in the context of collaboration framework. So this picture also explains it well. We have the external factors and also the internal factors. So the external factors can be issues about changes in the market, the competitors or the competition, learning opportunities, industry context, uncertain economic periods. These are factors that are outside the company but can still affect it. Now, inside the company or internal factors, this one has to do with the profile of the SMEs, its size, its professionalization, the IT capability, the employees, the knowledge, work practice, and so many factors that are internal to the SMEs itself. Now, here again, we have some, in that framework, we also see a strategic dimension, management dimension, and social dimension. So all these affect any collaboration that is done between 2 or more SMEs. Now, based on the literature being discussed about what other researchers have done as a research about the issue, I came out with this framework, this theoretical framework that tries to summarize all the findings, and it also shows factors affecting internal and external collaboration. And secondly, it also shows the types of collaboration that exist. 2 types: intra-firm collaboration and inter-firm collaboration. Now, first of all, the intra-firm, it is a collaboration being done inside the particular SMEs. So collaboration between or among the employees, sharing files, documents, or things like that. Now, when a collaboration is done between two or more SMEs, it becomes an inter-firm collaboration or collaboration between two or more companies. So this is the theoretical framework I came out with. Now, let's jump to the methodology used in this research. Of course, as I was saying, it was axiomatic design, but of course, there is also a qualitative and a little bit of quantitative method used also, because we used survey or questionnaire, analyze them, and use at the end of the day axiomatic design to design the platform. But prior to that, to analyze the results collected or the data collected from the interviews. Now, let's talk about the main research method used here, that is the axiomatic design. But before that, I would like to mention that the axiomatic design was coupled with a qualitative research method approach, and of course with some small parts or some small elements of quantitative research also. But the main research method used, and that I'm going to talk about in this research, is the axiomatic design. Now the picture over there is showing the originator of this theory, and that was quite a long time ago in the 70s by Nam Su at the MIT University, that is in USA. So according to him, axiomatic design is not a process, but it's a kind of theory based on matrix, and it is used in mapping processes between domains. I'll talk about it. And it starts with customer, with their needs, and it goes to the design solution and to the production of a final deliverable as the final product. So as we are going to see, it's based in 4 domains. First one is the customer domains, where you identify the needs of the customer. And the second one is the functional domain. Now in this domain, you try to translate the needs of the customer to some requirements that he wants. These are called functional requirements. And then thirdly is the physical domain. In this domain, the functional requirements are translated or are mapped into design parameters, or parameters that one needs to design a system or a solution. And finally, the solution is implemented in the process domain with process variable. But then if you analyze carefully the picture, you could clearly see a kind of zigzag flash between the functional domain and the physical domains, and between the physical domains and the process domain. That means that one can define or map FRs to DPs, and if you're not satisfied with the result, you come back again to the FR, to the next level of FR, you decompose it again, and to the newly decomposed FR, you associate new DPs again. But let's talk a little bit more about that in the next slide. But before that, this research method or axiomatic design is based on matrix. So that is why we are using this general formula for matrix. That is FR is equal to A by DP. So this formula is being expanded as seen below. Now, after analyzing the needs of the customer, we first identify the CNs, which is known as customer needs. Now from these needs, we identify FRs, and these are the functional requirements. Now, after analyzing the questions from the interview, we came out with 6 FRs, 6 functional requirements, and they are listed there. Now the theory, the axiomatic design theory, stipulates that If you take each FR, you associate a design parameter as is a DP to it. For instance, the requirement for the customer is for financial support. They need financial support. Now, how can that problem be solved? The FR1 is having a DP1, which is get a loan or contact financial services for SMEs. So this is an approach to get a solution for the problem the SMEs are facing. Or another one is breaking business barrier, for instance, the FR5. And the design parameter is do not ignore business indicators and competitors. Now, it happens that these design parameters are not yet able to satisfy the need of the customer. So what we do is that we proceed by zigzagging. That is, we come down and decompose FR1 further. And this is what is seen here. So this is the full decomposition for the project. So the DP1 is decomposed again to DP11, DP12, etc. And the same thing applies to DP2. It's been decomposed to DP23, DP24, and you can clearly see that the DP23 is further decomposed again till you are satisfied with the solution you are having and you don't want to decompose anymore. So at this stage, you are now ready to implement with these design parameters that you map into process variables. Now, after doing all these things, we have identified 6 main modules. And following the principle of modules regarding axiomatic design, you could clearly see that the FR1 is associated with the internal collaboration, and also the external collaboration is associated with FR2, etc. So we have here 6 modules that are associated with our main design. So this part concerns the technical design, which means that the whole design is going to have 6 modules: internal collaboration, external collaboration, financial support, knowledge and skills, breaking business barriers, and increasing work welfare. Now, based on these modules, the platform is designed. You can clearly see here that the design on the computer, the design on the tablet, and the design on the telephone. And this is a responsive design, which means that it shows well on any of these platforms. Now, after the main design, I try to come out with a design concept for the industrial project. So this design concept is shown below with the customer, and the project team interacted with the customer to collect data and analyze the data. And from the data, we get the customer need, that is the CN. And from there, we get the functional requirements, then the design parameters, and finally the process variables. And from the process variable, we identify 6 main modules that are used now to design the Interfirm e-collaboration platform. Now, after that, we designed also a UML diagram for the whole project. So it clearly showed the 4 universities involved. They interact with SMEs in different sectors. For the University of Vaasa, it handles SMEs in the energy sector in Ostrobothnia region. Turku, the University of Applied Sciences of Turku, handles SMEs in the well-being industries in Uusimaa, and etc. So all of them handle their respective and specific SMEs in their specific industries. And at the end of the day, interviews or questionnaires are sent to these SMEs. The data is collected, and this data, after being analyzed, is used to design the Interfirm collaboration. And down there we can see the platform having the 6 modules that this platform contains. Now, what can we say so far as discussion and summarizing and conclusion? While it is clear that it's kind of challenging project, it was difficult to identify customers, their needs, and also the mapping from the FRs to the DP was so complex and complicated also. And we have understood that the need of the SMEs are also not the same because of their different size and the type of SMEs they are. We understood after analyzing some questions that an SMEs with less than 5 employees is not having the same challenges like an SMEs with over 100 employees. And they are also coming from different sectors: energy, tourism, well-being, or metal. So these were some challenges that make the research difficult to replicate or to use in the future. But then we do have some recommendation. And the first one is that there is a need to make a cross-case analysis of the SMEs regarding the collaboration platform, which means that a thorough analysis or study needs to be made using 2 criteria. And the first one is about the industry or business that are operating in the same sector. When you take energy, you analyze them in this sector alone. When you take well-being, you just analyze them in that well-being sector. And the second criteria is the size of the SMEs. It is good to conduct the study for the micro SMEs, the medium-sized SMEs, or the small-sized SMEs. And finally, I recommend that a user evaluation survey is made. And the reason behind this is that survey is going to help to see the opinion of the SMEs that were involved in the project. In total, there were 35. And it will be good to see if this platform is really useful for them or not, and if they are willing to use it. And also it will be good to see their user journey, how they use it, if they face some challenges while using it or not. So these are the recommendations that are made for future research. So that was all about this industrial project about Interfirm e-collaboration platform. Thank you.